Here we see my collection of vehicles or bikes and my car. Every single one of these vehicles are being prohibited from being sold by the authoritarian Danish state and its intelligence agency called PET. Firstly, we have my PGO PMX, a completely renovated bike from 2012, and I built this almost 2 years ago, and ever since I built it they have been restricting me from selling it. And I mean, I have had thousands of views of this bike on Facebook, on DBA, on my own website page, and I have had dozens and dozens of people wanting to buy it over this period of time, all of which have been prohibited from doing so by this authoritarian state that have become very, very dictatorial over the last many years. And that is one of the bikes that they have been prohibiting the longest of time. Next, we have my Yamaha Neos, which I built here in early 2023. They are likewise prohibiting me from selling it, and there has been at least a few people that I know of wanting to buy this lovely bike too, but likewise are being prohibited. Of course, if I sell it for next to nothing, then I'm allowed to sell it. But obviously, I don't build things and spend money and my time to sell them without earning anything. So obviously, I'm not gonna buy it pennies on the or sell it pennies on the dollar, if you know what I mean. And next, we have my infamous Seat Ibiza, which has been for sale for around 5 to 6 months, and ever since I put it for sale, they have been restricting it. And there has been many people likewise wanting to buy it, but are completely and utterly prohibited from doing so. I have had companies trying to sell my car also, so they earn a commission on it, and they are likewise being prohibited from selling it. And it's all because the recent inflation in prices has affected the car market as such, that used cars are suddenly worth a lot more than they were previously. So despite me buying this car for 4 years ago, around there, I can almost sell it without losing huge amounts of money. And obviously, because I have paid much of my car loan, I have paid much of my car loan off, then I'm going to have a chunk of money that I'm going to use for a down payment on a house. And this is something that they cannot tolerate, and that is why they are especially prohibiting me from selling my car and making a huge fuss over it. It's a known thing that the government is prohibiting me from selling in almost anything, and especially this car has garnered so much interest and so much attention because the government is prohibiting me from selling this car despite it being way under market price. And they have tried to make all kinds of street theatre for me to sell it pennies on the dollar as well. And as late as yesterday, they tried to make this, where someone was literally saying that this car was almost falling apart, and the paint was supposedly completely rubbish, and because there's a few little nicks and what have you here and there, because it's obviously not a brand new car, and that's what happens. Then they didn't want to buy it, and this was obviously pre-planned already. They had no interest in buying the car whatsoever. They were just playing games, and this is kind of the things that happen over and over and over again. And here lastly we have my Kawasaki ZZR 600, a lovely bike, obviously quite old. It's from 1995, but it runs proper good, and it's very fast, and it has the best sound ever. And likewise, people have seen me ride this bike as people have seen me drive my car, so people have a good understanding that it runs very well, and that is also why people want to buy my bike. But like every other vehicle that I have, the state is prohibiting it, despite there being at least half a dozen of people wanting to buy this bike right here and now, But every other thing that I have for sale, it is being prohibited by the authoritarian Danish state, which are normalizing all of these draconian actions that they are doing towards me. They're normalizing it in entire society here in Denmark.